Greetings and salutations. Welcome to QB1 Press Your Luck here on Ref the District. Now, we understand that QB1 looks like it's going to be Sam Howell for the 2023 season, but we're still going to debate on some of these other chances. Yeah, we got to give the howl out there. Trev did the motions. We get it. Sam Howell's even our guy. We're pretty excited about him with Eric Bieniemy and these offensive weapons. We'll talk about that on a Wednesday show. But QB1 Press Your Luck here has a bunch of other names that might be in the running. EB might want to bring in his own guy. So don't sleep on any of these other names that we're talking about.
Speaking of don't sleep, this video and all videos of our Press Your Luck QB1 are sponsored by Don't Sleep Energy Drink. Don't Sleep is a fantastic energy drink, and you can go to their website at any time and go to don'tsleepenergy.com, put in the code REFTHEDISTRICT, and get 10% off your entire order. Also, you can go to Amazon and type in Don't Sleep Energy, and it'll come right up, and you can buy from Amazon. It's a fantastic deal. Again, if you put in Ref the District with your promo code, 10% off your entire order.
Yeah, great group of people out there and great gear, great beverages. I needed one the other day because I knew it was going to be a long day for me, and there was no way I was going to be able to make it through. So I picked up a Don't Sleep Energy, and I got through the day just fine. So don't sleep. Be great. All right, Trev, it is your turn to press your luck.
Okay, please. All right, let's go. Get it going. Let's go. Let's go. No lamies, no whammies, no lamos, no losers, and stop. Nope. I'm not. Nope.
Trev's out.
Let's
go.
Taylor Heinicke, a name we are very, very familiar with here on Ref the District, and a bona fide QB for Washington as far as, you know, what they, I mean, this is Ron's guy at this point, right? Like I don't really think
Ron's
that.
Guy?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Stoner. Let's start with you on this one.
Yeah.
You've said a lot on our channel.
Mm-hmm.
You do not want Taylor Heinicke back in 2023.
No.
Why is that?
I don't want him back for the simple reason, look, he's competent. We all know that, right? But he is not somebody you want to throw out again as QB1 for this franchise. And the reason I don't want him back at all to even be in the building is because this front office, which includes Ron Rivera, has shown many times over the course of the 3 years that he's been here, they listen to the fans. They listen to the buzz that goes on around this organization. They hear the Hive everywhere, and they've caved to it at times. Okay. And so I don't want that possibility. If Sam Howell wins the job over Taylor Heinicke, as we would expect if those two are competing for the job, the first game that Sam Howell struggles, this whole town is going to be on fire for Taylor Heinicke. And Ron hears that. And if you're going to go with Sam Howell as your quarterback, you got to go for it. You got to commit to it fully and not sit there and have to second guess yourself and think, well, maybe we need to give him a couple weeks off to kind of figure it out and let's get Taylor Heinicke. That's a bad recipe. So I don't even want him in camp, as competent as he is as a backup. I don't want him in camp anywhere near Sam Howell. I want a guy in camp that is going to mentor and help lead Sam Howell to a QB1. I don't want him competing tough with Sam Howell at this point. Before I did, but now I don't. So no, keep away. I don't have him on my list. I don't want him anywhere near this organization.
Yeah, Stoner getting back into the backup talk, the QB2 talk. Here around QB1 Press Your Luck, Trev. Taylor Heinicke would have Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator and not Scott Turner. Do you think that maybe Taylor Heinicke, would have success with Eric Bieniemy?
If Eric Bieniemy can fix that man's arm strength, then yeah. But no, I'm so over it. I'm with Stoner. I don't care who the OC is. I don't want Taylor Heinicke anywhere near Ashburn, Virginia FedEx Field, Landover, Maryland. I do not want him anywhere. Same reasons. Yeah, as soon as Sam Howell throws 3 picks in one game, which could be expected because he's young and still raw, they're going to scream for Heinicke to come in. I'm so sick of being a fan of a team that puts us in emotional roller coasters when it comes to quarterback position. I want somebody that's in there, like you said, Stoner, fully committed, and we just ride with them out. There's no, this is, I mean, it's every quarterback, I guess, in the NFL, but you know what I'm talking about with Taylor Heinicke, emotional roller coaster. He, leads us down the field, throws that game-sealing interception. He comes down and dives for the pylon, whatever, and then scores. We win the game. That's great. Next week, he comes out, throws 3 picks, gets benched for Carson Wentz, this and that. Like, I'm so done with this Mr. Moxie as QB1 for this organization. If you want to start off with somebody like that, then, like you said, go with Sam Howell. I'd rather be in the emotional roller coaster with him because it's expected, not someone who's played in the XFL, the AFF, the CFL, arena football, Vikings, Panthers, Commanders, like ODU, everywhere at 28, 29 years old, than over Sam Howell. So I'm done. We've seen it. It's been here for almost 2-3 years now. His ceiling is
he's reached it.
Yeah,
I do think we've probably seen what we can out of it. Now, one of the things I bring up Eric Bieniemy and Stoner, one of the knocks before the hire that people were trying to dig for, right? People were really trying to dig for something just to not be happy with Eric Bieniemy, was that he has a Patrick Mahomes that can go off script, and it's just like, really, you're just kind of like, you call a play or you design a play, but realistically, it's just Patrick Mahomes out there doing Patrick Mahomes stuff. Now, Taylor Heinicke is not Patrick Mahomes,
right?
But Taylor Heinicke can go off script. Do you think Eric Bieniemy might want somebody who can go off script and has a little bit of that moxie and veteran savviness to him?
Well, what you're talking about is Sam Howell. So, but in the Taylor Heinicke world, is he that type that could do that? It seems like it was coached out of him from Scott Turner the last couple of years.
Absolutely. They beat it out of him.
Yeah, so that he wouldn't do anything like that for whatever reason. They didn't want him doing things like that. But getting out of the pocket and making plays off script, right? Other than the legs, you have to that's where the arm strength really comes in, because you have to make throws on the run, maybe across your body, things like that, or you got to zip something in there as the receiver's coming back to you. Taylor Heinicke can't do that. Now, he has made some plays off script. I'm not saying he can't do that, but that's what makes Patrick Mahomes special, other than his mastery of the offense, is his ability to make a successful play off script, but that's because of his arm is very special. And Taylor Heinicke can't do any of that.
Exactly.
I think that's fair. And Taylor, we have seen a lot, and I hope the best for Taylor as he goes forward. I brought up he's Ron's guy, and he's not, right? Because one of the things that was consistent was they wanted to replace him.
Yeah.
He has the pylon dive against Tampa Bay in the playoffs, and they go out and get Ryan Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick goes down. They're forced to start Taylor Heinicke because they really just didn't have anybody else on the roster. And he does well enough to bring him back, right? To keep him there. But he went 7-8. He threw for 3,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And they were like, well, let's go trade 2/3 for Carson Wentz. So they try to put him on the bench again. And Carson Wentz, wasn't doing well, ends up getting injured. They put in Taylor Heinicke, and they just waited for an excuse. There was the win streak, and eventually Ron, I mean, you could just hear it. I mean, you heard it when, you're like, what's the difference? Quarterback. And, I know that was more directed towards Carson Wentz, but if quarterback's the problem, your QB1's a problem, you could have gone to Taylor Heinicke. He didn't want to go to Taylor Heinicke. He did when they were injured. They had the midseason push. And then you can tell they was just looking for a way he was like, but I can't change it when we're winning. And so they started losing, and he pulls them actually when Taylor Heinicke was actually playing somewhat decent. Like, he had way worse games during the win streak.
Yeah.
And so you can tell just Ron didn't want him here. Maybe he's a Scott Turner guy.
Yeah.
And now that Scott's out, I don't know that Eric Bieniemy would want him. Again, I wish him well. I think that he needs to go somewhere else because Taylor Heinicke now needs to prove that he is like I believe, let me correct myself here before the Hive gets on me. He's proven that he belongs in this league.
Correct.
Okay. Let's make sure we get that out there. He needs to prove that he can have success on somebody else's bench.
That's right.
Okay. If he wants to be,
Turner. Unless he goes wherever
Scott Turner goes,
Vegas.
If he wants to be Chad Henne, who retired with a Super Bowl ring, who remembers Chad Henne was even in the league, right? You got Chase Daniel collecting, $10 million paychecks. If Taylor Heinicke wants to do that, 5-10 years from the road, then he needs to move on. And I think that, Taylor Heinicke did this, the Pat McAfee podcast show. And he talked about he actually does want to be a QB1 somewhere. And if he's going to fight for a job, then it can't be here. They've already sold him down the river 3 times.
Even all those things you were talking about. And then you even add to this offseason, although he's not under contract with Washington, but the coach has made it clear to everybody around the league when they were looking for an OC that Sam Howell was going to be their guy, not Taylor Heinicke. They didn't talk about bringing him back at all. No. And there's actually one situation that I think is a little bit underplayed in the Taylor Heinicke saga from last year. And if you remember that he was going to start that last game against Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
But he kind of stepped aside. He went to the coaching staff and says, look, you should probably play this kid Howell.
Yeah.
What is that? This hasn't been played up. What kind of crap is that? You want to show everybody that you're the guy and you're QB1, but you're saying, nah, give the rookie who's trying to take my job, give him a shot. No, screw that. You got to go out there and say, no, look, I got to
throw 20 for 24 with 4 touchdowns and dominate the game.
What if he did go out there in that last game against Dallas and did exactly what you said, Nathan, and went 20 of 24 for 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, for example, right? Then you've just set yourself up for a bigger payday, for more opportunities to be a QB1 somewhere, maybe even here.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of a problem with that Heinicke did that. And nobody really seems to be talking about that. Maybe we should.
It's because he's too nonchalant. Like on the Pat McAfee show, he said, he would be QB1, but being a backup quarterback is one of the best jobs in America. So he is already had in his head that he's already set I could be QB2. It's cool. I don't care. So it's
I think he's managing his own expectations with that. That's what it sounded like to me. It was just he was hedging his bets. He was like, I want to be QB1. I want to be the guy, but I'm okay collecting a paycheck if I'm QB2. and
yeah, well, what about that part I just said, Nathan? Are you okay with a QB saying, nah, let my competitor get a chance to outshine me?
Well,
what is that?
Two different things with that.
He's a 5th round draft pick too. They did draft a 5th round. Taylor was not. He was undrafted. We signed him for free agency. He's barely making more than Sam Howell anyway. So
yeah,
and he had nothing to play for.
He had the opportunity.
So 2 things on this one, Stoner. One, this is one of the reasons why he's even beloved as a teammate. Right. People saw that as selfless. People saw that as he's a good guy and he's a guy you can have a beer with. And he's that's point 1, right? That's what I think most people saw in that. Why it didn't stir anybody besides you, Stoner. And the second part of that is I don't necessarily think I don't think that Taylor Heinicke saw Sam Howell as his competitor.
Well, why not?
Because Sam Howell,
they were competing.
Yeah, so he beat Sam Howell. He was the one who started the games when Carson Wentz went down. He was the one who they were going to go back. They said, you're going to be our QB1 in the final game. So he's like, I've already won this battle. And he doesn't see it as a competition. He was just like,
well, guess what, Nathan? He might not have seen it as a competition, but guess what? That guy who went out and played, he's now QB1 because of what he showed in that game. And Taylor Heinicke is going to be going off and trying to figure out somewhere else to play. But if he had said, no, this is my job and I'm going to fight for it, And now maybe he would be going into camp again as QB1, and Howell would have to compete with him to try and take it from him. But instead, he gave away, he could possibly have given away $10 million by letting that start go to Sam Howell. And I don't want that in a quarterback. I don't want that guy to be so selfless that he's not willing to fight for his own job to be the leader of an NFL team.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
like that.
Fair
I
enough,
like
Stoner.
that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Stoner, you said you don't want him here. Trev, you don't want him here. Did either one of you rank him on your QB1 list?
Nope.
I didn't even begin to write the T in Taylor to put him on the list.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want him anywhere near, and mostly again because of that reason I said earlier, which is the minute Howell struggles, then the whole fan base is going to be screaming for Heinicke, and this team doesn't need that.
And we've seen his ceiling already. I mean, he's a reason why he's been in Minnesota, Carolina, and then Washington as backup quarterbacks his whole career. So I mean, and he is a Scott Turner guy because he's in Carolina with Scott Turner, and I think he was in Minnesota with Scott Turner too. So, or something like that. But he's definitely with Scott Turner in Carolina, so he's definitely a Turner guy.
So
And he's still.
I don't have him ranked either, guys. I'm not going to belabor the points here. When apologies to the Hive and an EP who's a voting member of the board or something of the sort. But it's just for him. If you are a Hive member because you like him and you want him to be successful, then I think you should want him elsewhere. I don't think that he's going to be successful here in Washington because he will always be looking over his shoulder at anybody else. Ben DiNucci's out there throwing sidearm touchdowns to Josh Gordon.
That's where he belongs, right?
Somebody's going to be pulled onto this roster to replace Taylor Heinicke, and so he needs to go somewhere else where he can either be entrenched as QB2 or have a legitimate shot at QB1, because it's not going to be here.
Go to Green Bay. Back up Jordan Love.
He would love to play in Green Bay, is what he said. So let us know what you think. If you're a member of the Hive, I want to hear you. I want to hear you loud and clear. That should be a lot of buzzing there in the comment section. We'll probably talk more on Taylor Heinicke in one of our Wednesday shows. You can catch those live here on YouTube at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk all things Washington Commanders. Of course, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and until next time,
just give this guy a chance to play.
Be a fan.
Hey, it's your boy the Stoner on Ref the District. If you get a chance, check out some of our other stuff here that you see there, and always hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you are aware every time we go live, which is, of course, 7:30s Wednesdays. Check us out then, and check us out anytime. Until next time, be a fan.